Can you see your nose? Can you look with your eyes right now and see your nose? Do you ever notice when you're blinking, or do your eyes just blink when they need to? When you tilt your head to the side, does the horizon still stay straight? Does your brain adjust that? All of those things are being done by your brain. Your brain is filtering reality. You may have noticed that you can see your nose, and your brain always sees your nose. But when you're looking out into the world, the brain, your brain, filters out your nose so that you don't see it. For some people who have glasses, in the beginning, you'll notice the rims of your glasses around the outside, and very shortly after that, you get used to wearing them because your brain filters out the edges of your glasses. Your brain is a filter. Your brain is filtering your reality and showing you what you believe. You cannot live anything that you don't believe. Now, when something happens and the police talk to the witnesses, they all say something different, even though they all witnessed the same event, because their brain is filtering what they're seeing. And what one person sees may be completely different from what another person sees. When the Europeans came, the Native Americans couldn't see their ships because they had nothing to understand what they were. Now, they did notice that there were strange waves in the water, and eventually they saw the rowboats and they understood the smaller boats and the men, and eventually they were able to see the ships in the harbor. But when they first came in, they couldn't see them because their brains didn't recognize them. Their brains just filtered it out as if nothing was there because it didn't make any sense to them. There is an experiment that they did with animals where they put them in a space where there were only vertical things. And they kept them in there for quite a while. And then eventually they released them back into the regular world, if you were, their regular area. And the animals would walk into horizontal things because they couldn't see them because they didn't understand that they were there. Your brain is filtering your reality based on what you believe about everything. Your world teaches you that it's out here coming in. And what's actually happening is it's in here coming out. Everything that you see is a projection of your consciousness. Everything. And we do mean that literally. And once you begin to understand that, now you're beginning to take creative control, and now you're beginning to understand that you are creating your own reality. Everybody is creating their own world. There is some overlap, obviously. In situations where Ed and Marge live together, there is some overlap, but what Ed sees in the reality that he lives in is different than what Marge sees in the reality that she lives in, even though there is some overlap. It's all based on what you believe. When you understand that you are a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit, and when you understand that your body is inside your consciousness, not that your consciousness is inside your body, if you begin to imagine a sphere, and this sphere is your consciousness, if you put a tiny little dot in the center, that's your body. So you are consciousness with a body, not the other way around. And your consciousness is projecting through that body, through your filters, through your beliefs, and creating your reality, creating your world. So when you look out into the world and see things that you like, that's great. But when you look out into the world and you get triggered or see things that you don't like, if you can hold your response and be curious, now you have the possibility of shifting that, because what you're seeing when you see something that you don't like is one of your beliefs. Now, the other day, Ed and Marge were watching a TV show, and one of the characters in the TV show really irked Ed, really, really bugged him. And to the point where he was actually starting to get angry and starting to have a emotional response to it. And we whispered to him, the only way you can experience this is if it's somehow reflected within your belief system. So you have these characteristics too inside your beliefs. And if you look at it with curiosity and go, I wonder where that came from. I wonder why I'm experiencing that. I wonder why I have those beliefs. I wonder how they were created. And equally important, how do I release them and let them go? Now you're well on the way to shifting and releasing those beliefs. But if you just look at the outside world and think it's the outside world coming at you, you're giving your power away. And we always want you to keep your power. So the world is a projection from inside of you out into everything that you see, controlled by what you believe. Perfect. Now you know everything that you need to know. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. No, we're only kidding. We will now answer your questions about anything that you'd like to talk about. So, how can we help you?